to make Civilization 1, the first game. How did you get the idea to make such a game?
Civilization 1 was inspired by a couple of some games that I had done and other games that I had played, I think. SimCity was kind of around in those days, the original SimCity, and it kind of planted the idea that games didn't have to be about blowing things up or destroying things, but they could be fun to build something. And we actually explored that idea first with Railroad Tycoon, where you would build a railroad. And we enjoyed that kind of a game, and we were looking for another topic where you could start small and build something, and every time you played it would be different, and everything you built would be, and every time you would play, you would create a different story, basically. And we said, well, how about the story of Civilization? Yeah, we could do that. So we started putting it together. I read a couple books. The first prototypes were actually more kind of real time, like SimCity, that you would like, you guys go and build a city here, and you guys go and farm over here, and it was kind of, and then you'd stand back and kind of watch, and somehow that wasn't quite as satisfying. And then when we turned it into a turn-based game, when you were actually doing everything, you had to kind of really. You were in the world as opposed to just watching the world. And that was kind of where the light bulb went off, and it was like, okay, this is, okay, now it's starting to be fun. And it's such a rich topic that, Roman legions and Genghis Khan and, and gunpowder and all these pieces, let's put them in there and stir it up and see what happens. And we spent, a lot of time playing, but it was really... trying to take that idea of starting small and building something, in this case, this civilization, that was inspiring for the original Civilization.
Would have imagined that it would be a great series of games.
Not at all. It was very, in those days, strategy was like a bad thing, like, oh, strategy games are boring and only total nerds play strategy games, and there's a reason we didn't use hexes in the original Civilization, because they were associated with, war games and strategy games and complicated games, and so we really didn't expect it to be a success. We knew it was fun, but we thought that people were more interested in Pac-Man and playing another kind of games. The strategy might not be fun for people, but we connected with enough people, and they told their friends, and we were very lucky that it became successful.
And now just a different question. What would be in your opinion, the best Civilization game? It's a tough one, I think.
That is a hard question. To me, they're like your children. Each one is a different child. There's the smart one and the funny one and the cute one. One looks better, one has a little better AI, one, but you can't pick your favorite child, I think, I of course love Civilization 1 because that was the first child, but I think they all have something really good to offer.
How big is the difference in the development of those games, of the first one and the fifth?
Is it gigantic? A gigantic difference. I did probably 90% of the programming of Civilization 1. I created some of the art. Our team was probably 5 people at the largest. Civ 5, 60 or 70 people worked on that over 2+ years. Civ 1 was written in under a year, I think. So it's grown. Things have changed, and along with the rest of the industry, I think that's not just Civilization. All of the games have moved in that direction. We're working with 16 colors. There's only so much you can do with 16 colors, So, but the core ideas have not changed. That's what's interesting. Is the technology has changed. We now have the internet and all sorts of memory and processing power. But the core ideas still work. The game ideas still work. The gameplay, the fantasy that it creates in your mind, that all still works. So that's really interesting.
Thank you for the interview.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming.